Should you be selling all your crypto? BTC just hit $54,000. There are a lot of people on the marketplace screaming about us going down to $48,000. And even their scenario, if we are going to 48K, is to bounce back to 55 and 56. And they still are talking about the alt season. Should you be waiting for this next dip in order to get into the market? How many opportunities have you lost already? In this video, we will go through the current market situation and BTC surging to $54,000. Next narratives, and I will also provide you with 5 altcoin picks that you can actually buy that didn't pump yet and that are very, very close to the most performing narratives of this cycle. If this sounds fair, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and let's move on. Do you know why they call me Stan the ATM? Because they come to this channel and they make money. Exactly as they are withdrawing funds from the ATM. And here is why. I do think right now is actually a very nice time to loan Pepe. Enter a conservative loan, close it in a year from now, and say, thank you, Stan, you made me so much freaking money. It's quite interesting that I was saying yesterday that it might be very, very lucrative at this stage to enter this Pepe loan. But the main question, did I actually enter this loan myself? Because I actually recorded the video in the morning and I had the whole day to myself. Of course I had. I was following Pepe through the whole bear market, through the whole 2023. Subscribe to the accounts that are constantly talking about this Memecoin. I do think that we are finally getting our breakout. I do think that it's going to be one of the best performing meme coins of this cycle. I entered this loan yesterday with $20,000 margin and $60,000 position, and I'm already plus $9,000. It's also a conservative loan, so it's only a 3x leverage. The main reason for that for me is I want my liquidation to be low, 0.092. In case we would go lower, because no one knows the future, I will basically just add margin. I would add $20,000 on top into this loan, which would basically push my liquidation price very, very low. I don't want to get liquidated on this position, and at the same time I do want to have exposure to Pepe because I was following the whole bear market. I was doing the hard work. I was checking out all the tweets from the guys in the community. I was actually watching after the community as well. It's very, very interesting that after all this hard work, I just decided that it's better if I would actually be losing money. It's better for me to lose, to get liquidated, than not get into the position myself. Just because of the fact I know so much. Just because of the fact I was following so much. I had to be confident and I had to have conviction in my actions, in my thoughts, and in the time that I invested into actually researching the market and researching this token as well. It's the best type of conviction that you can actually have with each and every play. It's actually better to lose money, staying truthful to yourself, then understand why you lost and then work on the mistakes and actually improve, then make money, following some calls, following some things with you, not understanding anything, not understanding why the project pump in the first place, not understanding anything about the narrative, and eventually probably selling after 2x or something, seeing the project doing 150x's after that. This is my long-term Pepe position. I'm entering here, I'm planning to hold it long-term. I would probably be taking my initials out, maybe 2x, somewhere around that, but I do plan to hodl it long term. I think it will be doing very, very well. You might also say that 9k in one day is not too much. You're not Stan the ATM if you just made 9k in one day. I have something else to share. Here are my loans that I was opening quite a while ago actually. I had a loan on Sui, I had a loan on APTOS, and I had a loan on Ape as well. You can see that APTOS actually is somewhere around the entry point, so it's not that because APTOS is just not growing. I don't know what is the issue with this token, but I'm still waiting because the market maker is the same as Sui, the team is quite similar to Sui, investors are quite similar to Sui, so I do expect manipulation on this thing as well because the token launched in the bear market and I do think that it should be growing quite soon. We do see that we have plus $20,000 here in Sui loan as well. And on top of that, we have the loan on ApeCoin that I also have plus $23,500 at this stage. It is also a conservative loan, and my liquidations, they are very, very low. I was entering with Ape at 1.42 and my liquidation is 0.99. 0.99 for Ape is actually a new low. It's very, very hard for Ape to print this new low. That's why it's quite safe. My entry point on SUI is 1.22 and my liquidation is 1.05. It's actually very, very hard to reach these stages as well. And the same thing with APTOS. $6 per APTOS, BTC should be 37k, 38k, something around that. And the best thing about all these things is that I do have additional liquidity on this side. So if it would just be going down, I will be just adding more margin in order to make sure that my positions are actually safe. One question you might ask, why are you asking all of this if you were not telling us about these loans beforehand? I told you about Pepe loan yesterday. I think I was actually telling about SUI and APTOS loan in the previous videos as well. And there is also something very interesting. And this is me showing my ApeCoin loan position a month ago, with a pretty interesting reasoning behind that as well. And the main reasoning is the fact that ApeCoin received $500 million of investments. I do believe that's the only thing that you need to know about this token. The token was at absolute low. It's actually quite low even at these stages currently. Venture capitalists are not stupid. If they're putting $500 million into something, it will definitely fly because they're looking to make an ROI on their investments. And in order to make ROI on their investments, they actually need you to buy into the token so they can dump the token on your face. And you need to understand that probably there would be a bunch of people coming into this market, coming into this token right after you. You need to understand the manipulation. You need to take advantage of the manipulation as well. I'm also not just bragging about my loans because I told you about a lot of them in previous videos as well, and you definitely have the option to open them up as well. I just wanted to tell you about the strategy that I'm using with these loans. I do understand that I'm not a trader and I'm not looking forward to trading on a daily basis with my longs. I simply don't have information for it and I don't have time for it as well. The strategy that I'm using, I think, is a very interesting one as well. Let's say I have $40,000 in one token, in one position. I don't want to hold this amount of liquidity in this token and basically be freezing up this amount of liquidity. What I would be doing, I would be taking $16,000 out of this liquidity and I would be entering a 3x long position, which is very, very conservative, especially if we are at the bottom of the cycle for these tokens. If I believe in these tokens, if I do understand that there is a market maker in these tokens as well, if these are larger projects with a bunch of fundamentals under them and they should definitely pump in the bull market, I would be opening up my liquidity this way. And if I'm entering a long position for the token that is very, very low at this stage, I do understand that the chance of me actually being liquidated is quite low as well. And in any case, if we would be coming closer to my liquidation price, I still would have stables on the side, so I will be adding these stable coins into my loan, into margin as well. That's actually what happened with SUI, because we were lower than $1 for SUI after it actually had done $1.4, I think, and I've entered at 1.22. When we were closer to $1, I just added $5,000 of margin, which moved my liquidation position to 0.95. Then we surged up after that, and I just removed my 5k and opened a loan on APTOS. This is exactly what I've done. I do like this strategy a lot because it helps you to unlock the liquidity and it helps you to get a larger exposure into the market as well. And the beauty of these long positions is that you can actually take advantage of the coin moving even if you did not buy at the lows. And I think this is a question that a lot of you might have at this stage. I'm still waiting, I'm not exposed to the market, what to do and things like that. Getting into longs, conservative longs. Because the worst thing you can actually do is to get your money liquidated. Don't get liquidated. You are entering conservative 2 to 3x longs at the lows for the token. You are making sure that you have enough additional liquidity to add into the margin. And this way, instead of a 6k position of the token, you actually have 18k position on the token. And if the token is doing 2x, you are not earning $6,000, you are earning $18,000. And I think it's a tool that should be leveraged, but should be leveraged very, very careful. I just told you about plus $9,000 in a day. It's already plus 13, which is quite interesting. One small addition as well is that I do love to enter this type of loans with larger assets as well. Because in order to feel the move on larger assets, you actually need larger capital. If you want to feel the move on something like stacks, you'd probably want to put at least 50 to 100k to basically see 30% increase, 50% increase, and already make $30,000 to $50,000. However, with these type of conservative loans, 2 to 3x's, making sure you are not getting liquidated. You can get more exposure on these larger tokens, and that's the strategy that I was sharing in the previous videos as well. You loan the main token of the ecosystem, conservative loan, and you enter beta plays that you think would be doing well. I do think it's actually one of the best strategies to capitalize on the ecosystem. I will specifically go through larger tokens and actually show you this strategy. And I think it will play out very, very nicely. And at the same time, it's quite safe because these things are quite close to the lows. And they are actually fundamental, with a bunch of people working on them, with a bunch of holders, with great technology, with actually implementations in the market. First thing is Cosmos Atom. Cosmos SDK is basically being used to develop custom blockchains. Currently, a lot of Bitcoin layer 2s are actually developed with the help of either Cosmos SDK or Polygon CDK. And I do think we would be seeing a bunch of projects like that moving forward as well. You might actually say, but Cosmos is surging up and things like that. Let us actually open the whole chart and see what is happening. You can clearly see that we were reaching $15 in the bear market, and right now we are only at 11. It's a very, very safe token to actually get into with these 3x long positions. Because me personally, for example, I do not want to be entering something like this with my own liquidity, with my own money, because I do understand it can actually be playing out for longer. I would need to wait. Therefore, I think this conservative loan is basically just ideal for Cosmos. They are very, very fundamental project. A bunch of projects are using that technologies already. Sooner or later, this thing will pump as well. And once you will be entering the alt season, it will probably going to happen as well. Next project is Polkadot from one of the founders of Ethereum as well. A very fundamental project, close to accumulation zones as well. So we see it pumped 2x from the lows, but still not very much for this type of token. We didn't even saw an alt season yet. I think entering mid-term long position on this thing, conservative one, might also be playing out very, very well. You do have to understand, you do have to expect that these things, they will probably not be pumping right away, but I just want to show you the implementation of the strategy that worked well with Sui, that worked well with Ape, and that I'm waiting on to work out with APTOS currently. I actually did have to wait with Ape. It only reached $2 currently. I basically had to wait for 1 month at least in order for it to actually reach these numbers. Next thing I was also shown, and it's actually APTOS. APTOS is exactly like Sui, same market maker, same team, same investors. It's very, very similar. And we see that they had one of the largest manipulations in the bull market. Basically went up from $3 to $18. It was a 6x in the bear market. To be honest with you, this is the only 6x that I actually remember from the bear market, which is crazy. And obviously we had much more of them. Altro, for example, from January 1st of 2023 to January 1st, 2024, did a 9x, which is quite great as well. We see APTOS also had done 2x from the lows, but it's still a very, very low market cap. And at the same time, you can see that a fully diluted is 11 billion. There is definitely a manipulation planned on this thing, and most likely similar to Sui. They invested into these things, they're looking to make an ROI as well. They're not looking to just fade this token and just leave. That doesn't make sense. I do think it might be a great time at this stage to be entering this longer term, mid-term, conservative APTOS loan as well. I do think you'll be making some money on it. Next project is ILLUVIUM. If you would check one day, you can see that yeah, it might be surging up and things like that, but if you're opening the whole time frame, you see that we are down heavily, that we are in this accumulation zone for so much time already, and we basically had a 3x from $40 and the lows as well. I do think it's actually quite safe. I do think that there are a bunch of holders from previous cycle that do believe into this token very, very well, and they will probably continue to hold to this token. And the team, they're constantly telling about the release, about the launch of the game and things like that. So I do think that this thing will do quite well. If you would be entering this conservative loan as well, it should still surge with the whole gaming market. Last but not least is NEAR. I was checking out some interviews of the founder of NEAR, and there are definitely a range of things planned for this project as well. We do see that it basically had done 4x from the lows, which shows to us that the token is definitely not dead at this stage. I do think that NEAR might be doing very, very well moving forward as well. It's definitely a bit more risky to get into this type of conservative loan position on NEAR for midterm, but still, I think it might be doing quite well. One interesting thing that you might notice, with all these projects, all 5 of them are still quite close to the accumulation stage. They did not have their breakout yet. At the same time, all of these tokens are actually the tokens of the previous cycle, except APTOS. Therefore, we should be very, very careful with essentially mirroring our tokens and sitting in these projects for quite some time. If you are sitting in these projects from the lows, you have made some profits, I would suggest to try to redistribute into new place on the marketplace. Check out different narratives, check out different tokens. I actually shared several tokens that are lower caps that you might be entering in the previous video yesterday as well. My goal here was basically to show the strategy and to show how you can capitalize on these things. I would say that the risk is quite low, and I would say that I picked the projects with great fundamentals, with very, very interesting ecosystems that I think should be outperforming BTC this cycle as well. Therefore, these conservative loans might be quite lucrative on the time frame, because you definitely would need to be prepared to wait for some time for these things as well. One update as well, while I was recording this video, Pepe surged up as well, and already we have plus $14,000 on this loan in one day. I do think we are going infinitely higher on this thing. Although until we would be reaching the level 0.02, it's quite risky. We still can go down. But I have a conservative loan. My liquidation is at 0.009. Therefore, it almost 2x down from here. Therefore, in my case, I think I'm quite safe already. Soon, I would be able to take my initials out of this loan, and I would just leave it till the end of the bull market. Despite the fact of a lot of people waiting for a dip, it's not coming. And I was actually one of them. I injected quite a lot of capital into the market in the last months as well. There are still projects in the market that you can enter at this stage. There are still strategies with loans that you can actually leverage as your tool to get more exposure, more upside from the movements of certain tokens, to kind of be able to catch up with the gains that everyone else on the market had done already. You can be participating in the IDOs as well. You can be entering into the private sales on the projects, and generally just look for new projects in a good narrative with good founders, with nice developers as well. There are always a bunch of ways to make money on the market. Market always gives opportunity. I don't think you should feel FOMO. I don't think you should feel bad that you missed some projects. There is always a project around the corner. If you have FOMO on some project that you believe into it so much, just enter a certain position into the project. If you were researching a project for so much time, you know it so well, you know that it's going to surge. Does it actually make sense if you would be entering currently or 30% lower at the time frame of a year from now? Don't let your short-term vision interfere with long-term vision. Long-term always wins. Most of the gains are actually made long-term. In life, in business, in crypto as well. Long-term in crypto, I mean from the start of the bull cycle and the end of the bull cycle. Because if you have this long-term mindset in crypto that you're buying for 10 years, In 10 years, most of the tokens that you're buying currently will probably die out, right? Just enter the tokens with high conviction to a certain percentage, not to feel FOMO if they will surge up. If they will surge up and there will be no signs of correction, just buy more. It's a viable strategy, it's a great strategy to double down on your winners. Time in the market beats timing the market. Each and every time. Long term wins. Pick proper projects, enter, use a toolkit that you have available, and just chill and wait. And add all the dips if you would see some. It's quite interesting that largest pain at this stage is definitely just surging up. And we see this happen with BTC surging up as well. I do believe that when we would see a final capitulation of bears, then and only then we would essentially have a high chance for market turning back down. I hope you understood the strategy. I hope you received value from this video as well. It was very important for me to show this strategy to you. If you would like to support the channel, feel free to sign up to BitGet exchange in the first link in the description under the video and trade with me. You will be able to get up to $10,000 of sign-up bonus, and moving forward, I will have some events and some perks for people who are trading with me as well. I will not be disclosing much at this stage. One other thing that I wanted to add, if you actually got curious about Patreon page, how to join and things like that. Most likely I would be closing my Patreon page quite soon and I would be opening up the Discord. All the OGs, all the people who were with me initially on Patreon page would get rewarded in some time as well. I don't know how at this stage, but we will definitely do something for you guys. The main reason for me opening Discord is that I do actually respond to each and every YouTube comment, but the issue is that I don't see when you respond me back, and at the same time when I'm responding to YouTube comments. Sometimes I'm sharing very valuable information and only a limited amount of people actually see these comments, maybe up to 5, up to 10 people as well. I do believe that Discord is way better platform for these type of exchanges as well. I think I will be updating you on this quite soon. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much for being subscribed to this channel. I am committed to continue delivering value to you on a daily basis and keep making you money so we can all make it this cycle on the marketplace. Thank you very much again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.